Hello, everyone, and welcome to your cosmic update. So we're taking a look tonight at some of the recent astrological shifts, and I also want to give you some guidance from the Akashic Records on how you can make the most of this energy right now. So I really want to focus in on the shift of Mercury moving into Cancer, which happened today as I film this video on June the 4th, and also Venus moving into Gemini, which is happening on June the 9th. So lots of exciting energy here that can really help you enhance your intuitive gifts, your psychic abilities, and really speed up your manifesting by stepping into more joy and more pleasure in your life. So I want to give you guidance around that. So if you are new to me, my name is Melendy, and I am passionate about helping you master manifestation by working with astrology as well as with the Akashic Records. So if you are new to the Akashic Records, it's basically the realm of infinite possibility. It's this energetic space that it has like the unique journey of your soul, basically. So as you travel through different incarnations in your body, different lifetimes, you build up different wisdom and knowledge. And when you tap into the Akashic Records, you're tapping into that space. So say hi as you join. Hi, Lorena. Welcome, beautiful. So even if you're on the replay, say hi below as well. So basically, when you tap into the space of the Akashic Records, you're accessing this wisdom, right? You're accessing not only the wisdom that you have picked up journeying throughout your lifetimes, but also the collective consciousness. And it works really beautifully with astrology because they both point to your unique energy signature. And when you can learn to really like harness your unique energy signature, manifestation just flows so much more easily because you're not working against your energy. Instead, you are working with it. So it becomes very powerful. All right, so let's dive in today. Before I take a look at Mercury in the sign of Cancer, Venus and Gemini, I know in the collective that a lot of us have kind of been feeling a heaviness to the energy leading up to the new moon, a little bit after the new moon. And I really want you to know that when some of these old patterns may be emerging from you, try not to get caught in old stories about what they represent, because Gemini season and this new moon that we recently experienced in Gemini, it really is a new beginning. It's a fresh start for you when you're willing to really step into that. So if you notice these old patterns, whether it's old patterns of anxiety, feelings of depression, maybe old relationship patterns that are surfacing for you, try not to create a story around what that represents or what that means, and instead feel that it's coming up to be released. It's coming up to be transformed. And before I really started working with astrology and the Akashic Records, I actually have a background in psychology. So I worked as a psychotherapist, and I used to experience a lot of anxiety as well. And when we feel in this space of being overwhelmed or we feel anxiety, our mind wants to create reasons as to why this is happening for us. So we want to try to detach from those stories, feel the emotions, and allow ourselves to kind of just fully release those old patterns so we can step forward into a new beginning, right? Which we are being called to do right now. Hi, Kathy. How are you, beautiful? Katarzyna, welcome. Definitely say hi as you pop on, and feel free to ask any of your questions as well. So with Mercury in Cancer, let's start there. So Mercury is the planet of communication. It is the messenger, and it also governs our style of thinking. So when I do readings for people and I look at their birth chart, by looking at your Mercury placement, I can really see the unique way that you learn, the unique way that you kind of communicate with other people. It's basically the way that your mind works. And right now for the collective, with Mercury moving into Cancer, we're really stepping into using our intuitive gifts on a deeper level. Mercury in Cancer is all about seeing beyond the words to the heart of what someone is saying. And that is super powerful. So this is a shift we're really going to feel. And you may also be feeling a little bit more sensitive with this energy too. Like I had a couple of clients or people reach out today and just response to posts as well, that even if they didn't know the astrology behind it, they were feeling this shift where they were feeling extra sensitive today, or like responding to the words that people were saying, like they were taking it more to heart. And Mercury in Cancer can do that. So just be very aware, like the power of the words that you use, using words that inspire other people, using words that really empower other people, because we're all going to be feeling extra sensitive. Now, the other side of that, with sensitivity really comes powerful intuitive abilities, powerful intuitive gifts as well. And that's what you really want to work on cultivating at this time, is tapping into those natural intuitive gifts that are there. And there's different ways our intuition speaks to us, right? And some of you, you feel free to let me know in the comments if you heard of the different clairs. So like clairvoyant, clairaudient, and these are the different ways that we can kind of pick up on information around us, right? Like clear cognizance is a common one that people actually have, where it's just you know something without being able to explain how or why you know it, right? You're just like, I just have this feeling, I just know that it's true. Or clear sentience, where you just really feel that energy in your body, right? It's like that strong gut instinct, and you can't always explain like why you know to make that decision, or logically it may not always line up, but you just know you have to, and that's your intuition. And we all have these gifts. We all have intuitive abilities. And with Mercury in Cancer, you're really asked to step into that in a bigger way. Really like tap into those intuitive gifts. And even if logically in your mind it doesn't seem to make sense, with intuition, it's so important that you trust. Because it's often not that our intuition isn't speaking to us or that we can't hear it, it's that we don't have the courage to say yes to it or to trust it. But the more that you have the courage to say yes to where your intuition is leading you, you'll find that easier it is to really receive those messages. So really pay attention to that with Mercury in Cancer and how that can increase those gifts for you. So if you're just joining now, say hello, jump on. Katarzyna is saying how she was feeling emotional. Yeah, you know, a lot of us have been feeling that. So once again, just know those patterns come up to be shifted. Don't fall into old stories about what they mean, right? And just be gentle and patient with yourself in that process as well. So while Mercury is traveling through the sign of Cancer, mid-June, it is going to meet up with Mars in Cancer and the North Node in Cancer, and it's going to oppose all this activity in Capricorn, Saturn, Pluto, and the South Node. And there's so many things I could say around this. So one thing that's really coming through that really can relate to your manifesting as well, and like taking your manifesting abilities to the next level, is balancing the masculine and feminine energies within you. And this goes beyond whether like you're a male or a female. I'm not referring to that. I'm referring to the energies that we all have within us. And the divine feminine energy is your ability to receive what you desire, right? It's to receive. So when we have something we want to call into our experience, whether it's attracting a soulmate or whether it's attracting like a dream job or a soulmate client, whatever it is you desire to attract, you have to have space to receive it. And cultivating that like goddess energy, the divine feminine, it helps you receive those desires, right? And that's what the Cancerian energy really does embody. It's intuitive. It helps us create that space to receive it. Opposite that, with the planets that are in Capricorn, is the masculine energy. And the masculine energy is that drive to go out there, to take action, to make things happen. So really reflect and like go within throughout this month, or really ongoing, because this is always going to be a service for you, but mid-June it's really going to come into focus. And look at how those masculine and feminine energies are showing up in your life. So are you more in the energy of the masculine, where you're forcing things into place? You're trying to make it happen, right? If I just work harder, if I just put a little more effort in, then I'll get the result. Or are you more in the feminine, where maybe you're surrendering, you're receiving, but you're not taking the inspired action? So you really want to look at how can I balance these two energies out to really help me attract and call in what I desire to create in my life, what I desire to manifest. Because with Mars in Cancer right now, and now we have Mercury there, this year we have the North Node there as well. We're all kind of learning to go about achieving our goals in a different way. And we're learning that it's not just the action that matters, but like more than the actions we take is the intention behind it, is the energy behind it, and our ability to then create space to receive what we want. So that's like super powerful. Let me know if this is resonating with you. Say hi if you're just jumping in now, and feel free to ask any of your questions as well. And this brings me to what I really want to talk about with Venus, the goddess of love, of desire, beauty, and prosperity, moving into Gemini on June the 9th. And there's so many messages in the Akashic records that are coming through that I want to share around this as well. So where Mercury in your chart governs your communication, how you learn, basically your mind, Venus is how you attract. So it's your unique attraction gifts. It's how you show up in relationships. It's what you love in the world. And when I see that placement in your chart, I have an idea of what you need in relationships, who you're going to be attracted to. It's even our unique way of attracting financial abundance as well, because Venus does govern over our finances too. And so for the collective, where it's shifting into the sign of Gemini, we're really reminded that when we want to create something, when we want to attract something into our life, the more that we can be in the energetic state of joy and pleasure, the easier it flows to us, right? It's like, if you've ever really wanted something in your life that you don't have, sometimes we focus so much on it, we put so much energy toward it, but we're actually activating the lack of it. And I love how Abraham Hicks, let me know if I have any like fellow Abraham Hicks lovers here. So she talks about like the two ends of attraction. So when we know what we don't want, we know what we do want. So what side of the stick are you on, right? When you know what you don't want, use that as a launching off point for what it is you do want and give your energy there. So Venus in Gemini is that reminder that the more we can have fun with it, the more that we can like be playful about it and just be in gratitude for what we already have, that will speed up your manifestation because you're not putting so much pressure on yourself. Like, I've observed this time and time again with like anything that I'm creating or want to create in my life. I'll be working like hard toward it. I'll be putting in the work. I'll be doing the effort. And yes, we do need to take action. But if I'm not getting the results I want, sometimes it's like I'll just have a day at the beach, or I'll have a day out with friends relaxing. And then suddenly what I want comes to me. And you probably have experiences of that too. It's like when you know what you want and then finally you get into like this relaxed space of being able to receive it, suddenly it just flows to you with greater ease. And Venus in Gemini invites us to step into that. It's like this idea of holding on loosely to what we desire. Gemini is a mutable air sign. It's like, stop suffocating your desires, step back and trust you're worthy of receiving them because you exist. That if you have a desire in your heart for what you want to experience, it can come into full physical manifestation if you allow it to. So it's natural for it to flow to us. The only reason that it wouldn't is that there's a belief there, or there's something in our energy that's blocking it in some way. So sure, we can do the work of like looking at our subconscious core beliefs and asking like, is there a part of me that believes it's not possible or I'm not worthy? But also Venus in Gemini, right, in its highest expression, let's not just overanalyze it, but let's just have fun with it, right? Let's shift into that joy and pleasure, make that a priority in your life, and see how that speeds up your manifesting. All right, so say hi if you are just jumping in now. It is great to have you here. Welcome, welcome. Okay, so Venus, well, it is traveling through the sign of Gemini. It's also going to form a square over to Neptune, and Neptune has been such a powerful theme this year. And how I see this energy, it's like it's our connection to the divine. It's our connection to our higher self. It's who we are beyond this incarnation, beyond just this physical body. And it reminds us of the support that's there from us, from our angels, from our guides, from the ascended masters, from our higher self, if we're open to receiving that into our life experience. So there's just a spiritual energy that's going to come into the mix as well that reminds you, no matter what you're creating in your life, do your part. Yes, get clear on what you want, take the inspired action, but know that you don't have to do it alone. And that's where the co-creation comes in as well. And that's why I love working with astrology, is we get to co-create with these planetary shifts. We get to co-create with this cosmic energy and realize that we are infinitely supported, that we don't have to do it all on our own. So that's going to add a very spiritual element. Now, In the shadow side, this aspect, we do want to be aware in our relationships, right? Venus also governs our relationships. I know I've been focusing a lot on like that attraction part of it because that's what I love. I think it's so powerful how it like governs over our ability to be magnetic to what we want, to draw that in and our unique style of doing that. But it also governs our relationships, what we need in our relationships. So Venus in Gemini, we're going to be craving more excitement with the people in our life. And this can be our romantic partnerships, but this can also be our friendships. Like we're just going to want to have more fun. And we're also going to want that intellectual, like that mental stimulation. And for some people, that's like super important in relationships, right? They want someone that they can have like interesting debates with and conversations with, and they like crave that, right? So we're all going to be craving that a little bit more with this transit. And when it forms that square over to Neptune, just really be aware in your relationships of having healthy boundaries in place, because Neptune is that connection to the divine, that connection to the spirit realm, but it can also bring in like this feeling of being kind of like disillusioned or not always seeing things as clearly as we would like. So just be aware that you do have those boundaries in place in your relationships about what you're allowing in, what you need, what you want, and just being okay with affirming that. And otherwise, like, I love this transit of Venus and Gemini, and I love how it can shift us into that energy of joy and that energy of playfulness. Okay, so say hi if you are jumping in now. And I believe there's a comment pinned to the top about my astrology course. So if you want to go deeper in understanding your unique astrology and you're like, I want to know where Mercury is in my chart, where Venus is, or I just want to know what's coming up for me for the remainder of 2019 and how I can really like harness that energy, I do have an astrology course called Explore Your Divine Blueprint, and it teaches you how to read your birth chart as well as how to read other charts, but not just read it. Like you can probably get from listening to my video, like actually harness that energy. How do I work with that energy to manifest the life that I want? How do I work with that energy to get a deeper connection and understanding of what my soul is here to create this lifetime? To even understand past lifetimes and the unique gifts and skills that I bring in from past lifetimes that help me fulfill my soul mission. It's all in a birth chart. It's fascinating. So definitely check out the pinned comment, or I believe it's posted above the video as well if you want more details on that and you want to go deeper into your chart. All right, otherwise, have fun with this energy. Really work on trusting your intuition, following your heart, even if logically it doesn't seem to add up, it doesn't seem to be making sense. Mercury in Cancer is not about the over-analyzing of it. It's about trusting what you feel. Cancerian energy is all about I feel. This is what I feel. So really trust that. Really get in tune with how your intuition is speaking to you. The Venus and Gemini, make fun, make joy a priority in your life every day. Instead of like the specifics of what you're manifesting or what you want to draw in, instead, if you make feeling the best that I can in this moment a priority, you'll see that you'll draw to you what you desire much quicker. So it's all about the journey anyway, right? It usually isn't about like that outcome that we think we want. It's about the process. It's about the emotion that we want to experience. Make that a priority. Be sure to check out the course, Explore Your Divine Blueprint, if this is resonating with you and you want to go deeper with understanding your astrology. And thank you so much for hanging out today, for the hearts and the likes, sending so much love your way. And I will see you all very soon. Bye for now.